Hello everyone. So previously we had successfully designed a code compiler service, right? For only the Python programming language. Yep. So today we are asked to design dynamic feature flag manager, right? So let's see what the question states here. Design a lightweight in-memory feature flag manager that supports creating feature flags. This one, the first one, that supports creating feature flags, enabling or disabling them globally. The second one, enabling them for the specific users. Third one, applying percentage rollouts. Fourth one, and checking if a feature is enabled for a given user, all in a thread safe single file Python implementation. These five things we have to implement. Again, let me read this one out loud. Just listen to this carefully. Design a lightweight in-memory feature flag manager that supports creating feature flags, enabling or disabling them globally, enabling them for the specific users, applying percentage rollouts, and checking if a feature is enabled for a given user, all in thread safe single file Python implementation. Yeah, I hope the question part is clear. Right, easy one. Next, let's do one thing. Let's discuss the functional as well as the non-functional requirements in detail so that we can just move on with the solution part. Yep. First, as usual, let's collect the functional as well as the non-functional requirements in detail. So the first functional requirement here is system should allow creating, updating, deleting feature flags. So these three things, creating, creation, updation, as well as the deletion. It should be allowed by the system. The second one, each flag must support on or off states. Yeah, this one is very important actually. Each this one flag must support on or off states. Yeah, this is very important. The third one here would be ability to evaluate this one, ability to evaluate if a feature is enabled for all users, specific user, and the percentage rollout. So this one they have strictly mentioned in the question as well. Yeah, ability to evaluate if a feature flag is enabled for all users or the specific user or the percentage rollout. Yep. So this is fine as well. The fourth one, we have to maintain in memory. So we don't have to go with the external database. That's what they have said here. The fifth one, we have to expose minimal APIs, whether it may be create dot update, this one, sorry, create, comma update, this one, state, and enable for the user, disable for the user, set rollback percentage, then is enabled. So we have to expose only the minimal APIs, whether it may be create, comma update state, comma this one, enable for the user, disable for user, set rollout percentage, and is enabled. Yep. So these are some of the things, some of the APIs we'll be making use of here, right? Yeah. So this is fine. Next, let's do one thing. Let's discuss the non-functional requirement. The first thing here would be the low latency lookups, nothing but big of one in the memory access. Second one is thread safe updates to the flag state. The third one is lightweight and easily embeddable in microservices. The fourth one is clean API. Yeah, so these are some of the non-functional requirements. Yep, based on the requirements, accordingly with the question. So this is the algorithm that we'll be going with. Yep. So let's go with the mainly. Let's go with the algorithm choice as well as the design pattern choice. The algorithm choice, see here. So we will be going with a hash-based lookup for the big of one access. So they have strictly asked us to go with the big of one access itself, right? So we'll be making use of the hash-based lookup for the big of one access to the feature flags. Yep. So we will be making use of the simple hashing for percentage rollout as well. Yep. Then we will be making use of set-based membership for per user overrides, mainly hashing. Yeah, you have to know the concepts of hashing, whether it may be hash map, hash set. Yeah, uh, these things you have to know. Yep. So this is the algo choice, or this is the algorithm choice that we will be going with further to write the code. Actually, just remember this one. Yep. Let's move on with the design pattern choice actually. So we will be making use of three patterns. One is singleton pattern, the second one is strategy pattern, and the third one is factory method. Yep. The singleton pattern. So we will be maintaining one global feature flag manager across the application. Yeah. So we'll be going with one global feature flag manager across the application. The second one would be strategy pattern, different strategies for flag evaluation, different strategies for the flag evaluation. The third one would be we will be creating the flag objects uniformly by making use of the factory method. Yep. So these are some of the design patterns that will be making use of singleton strategy as well as the factory method. Yep. Now we have successfully discussed algorithm choice as well as the different design patterns. Now let's move on with the concurrency as well as the data model part. right? So for the concurrency, see, we will be making use of Python's threading.log, meaning we will be importing the threading module. Officially, Python doesn't support this one, multi-threading, right? So we have to import the module threading module actually, or the multi-threading module. We'll be going with the threading module. We'll be making use of threading.log just to ensure safe updates to the flag state, right? So with self.log, we will be making use of this one. We'll be assigning that one to the threading.log and we'll be making use of it within the different methods usually, right? So that's what we'll be doing here as well. We'll be making use of Python's threading.log to ensure safe updates to the flag state. So this is fine, I believe. The second one, atomic writes for the user overrides and fallout, rollout changes. Yeah, so this is fine, I believe. So this is the concurrency part. Let's move on with the this one. What do we call? Data model part. Yeah, data model part will be going with the featured flag. Within the featured flag, we'll be making use of the name enabled per user overrides as well as the rollout percentage. Name, which is of the type string, enabled, which is of the type boolean, per user overrides, we'll be making use of the hash set or the set. Next, the final one would be rollout percentage, int of 0 to 100. Yeah, so these are some of the parameters that we'll be making use of within the feature flag. So this is the data model. And also one more thing, manager keeps the dictionary, right? Manager keeps the dictionary, right? So this one flag will be initializing this one with the dictionary and this one key, which is of the type string, and feature flag, nothing but the value, right? So this is fine, I believe. Next, we have successfully discussed what do we call uh, concurrency as well as the data model part. See, first thing, algorithm choice and design pattern choice is completely interlinked with the this one. What do we call? Uh, Concurrency and the data model part. Concurrency and the data model part is completely interlinked with the UML diagram. Everything is interlinked here, right? So mainly, we will be this one. We will be making use of what do we call? Mm, yeah, the same parameters that will be that I showed you with this one design pattern will be making use of here within the UML diagram. And one more thing, we are just going with in memory. So if we are making use of the external DB, the data modeling has to be will be somewhat complex, right? So now we are just asked to go with the in memory. So it will be easier to go with the data modeling part, right? Small code actually in simple terms. Yep. So if you are making use of the external database, you should have the knowledge on the database that you are using, right? So whether it may be SQL or no SQL, any database that you are making use of, whether it may be MySQL, MS SQL, it doesn't matter, MongoDB, anything. Yep. So this is fine, I believe. Next, let's do one thing. So let's discuss the UML diagram based on what we had discussed earlier, right? So first thing, we will be going with a feature flag, right? So we will be going with a feature flag, right? So this is fine, I believe. Uh, and yep, we'll be going with the feature fact class. So this consists of four parameters, right? So this consists of four parameters. What are the four parameters that we'll be making use of here? So one is name. This is fine. The second one is enabled. The third one is per user overrides, and the fourth one is rollback percentage. So these are the four parameters that we'll be making use of within the feature flag class. So next one, we'll be making use of only one method named is enabled of user, right? Is enabled method, right? So here we'll be making use of is enabled within the feature flag, right? So this is about the feature flag class, feature flag class actually, which uses feature flag class uses the feature flag manager, or it is dependent on the feature flag manager class, right? So this is going to be the base class actually. This is going to be the base class or the main class, feature flag manager, which consists of two parameters. Yeah, feature flag manager consists of the two parameters, namely feature this one, sorry, flags as well as the log. We will be assigning this one to the, quite obviously we'll be initializing this one with a threading.log, right? For the safety purpose, right? So we have to acquire log for certain purposes. So we will be assigning this one to the threading.log. We'll be making use of the threading module in simple terms. Also, we'll be going with the parameter flags as well. This is required. Yep. So two parameters we'll be making use of within our code. One is flags and another one is log. And we will be going with, or we will be making use of six methods here, right? So we will be making use of six methods within the feature flag manager class, right? So what are the six this one methods? Create flag of name, the first one. The second one is update flag state of name. The third one is enable for the user of name comma you. disable for the user name comma u. So this one name comma u in the sense name comma user, set rollout of name comma p, and is enabled name comma user, right? So these are some of the important 6 methods that we will be making use of within the this one feature flag manager class, right? What are the 6 methods? Again, create flag, update flag, enable for user, update flag state, enable for user, disable for user, set rollout, as well as is enabled. These are the 6 methods that we'll be making use of, right? So this is it for the UML diagram based on the algorithm choice and design pattern, and yeah, design pattern, and also design pattern choice, and also the concurrency and the data model part. We have successfully designed this one UML diagram, right? So the same exact thing will be making exact things will be making use of it within the code, actually within the code that we'll be writing in the future. See, we will be making use of two classes, namely feature flag and feature flag manager class. Yep. So these are the two methods that we'll be making use of, right? So just listen to it. So within this class, we will be making use of four parameters. Within the feature flag class, we'll be making use of four parameters: name enabled per user overrides, as well as this one rollback dot percentage override percentage, right? So this is one thing, and is enabled of user. So, and within the feature flag manager class, we'll be making use of two parameters: flag and lock, and 6 methods: create flag, update flag state, enable for user, disable for user, set rollout, and is enabled, right? So this is fine. So the same exact two classes will be making use of, and some parameters that we have mentioned that we'll be making use of within our code. And the final one, total 7 methods, including the methods that are different methods that are present in the both classes. Yeah, the exact same thing will be making use of within our code. The only thing is we will be writing the code structurally, and we will be adding the logic to the methods. We'll be adding the logic to the methods, right? So that's what the developers do basically. Yep. So the same exact thing will be making use of the name, whether it may be the classes, whether it may be the this one, whether it may be the classes, whether it may be the parameters, whether it may be the methods. The exact same thing will be making use of within the code. That is the reason we designed the UML diagram, right? So exact same thing will be making use of within our code. The only thing is we'll be adding the logic to the different methods, and we'll be adding this one. What do we call? We'll be adding we'll be adding the logic to the different methods, and we'll be writing the code structurally by making use of the Python programming language in our case, right? So this is fine. Next, we are done with the UML diagram part, right? So we have successfully discussed most of the things that is required, and we have successfully designed the UML diagram part as well. Now we have complete idea on how to write the code, on how to write the code. What are the things that we have to use? Mainly, what are the classes? What are the different classes that we have to use? What are the different parameters we have to use within those classes? And also, what are the different methods that we have to use within those classes? Yeah. Now, all we have to do is we have to write the code structurally by making use of the Python programming language. And one more thing, that we have to add the logic to the different methods accordingly discussed earlier, right? Accordingly with the earlier discussions, right? That's what we need to do. This is very good time to write the code. Let's start writing the code. So here, the first thing would be, let's start writing the code. The first thing, if you remember, we'll be going with the feature flag class. There are only two classes we'll be going with. So before that, let's do one thing. Let's import the threading. So we'll be going with the threading.log, right? As discussed earlier. So this is used for the thread safety in the updates. Yeah. So this is fine. Next, let's start with the feature flag class, actually, accordingly with the UML diagram. Feature flag. Yep. So within this class, let's go with the initialization part. I'll just go with init. Yep. Let me go with the init. So here, along with the self, let me go with the name, the parameter name. Only parameter that we require is name here. This is fine. Let's initialize certain things. I'll just go with, we give you a name. Let me initialize this one with a name. The second one, let me go with enabled. If you can set the UML diagram, please do. So we'll be going with the enabled per user overrides and the rollout percentage. Four things we have to initialize, right? So enabled, let me initialize this one with a false. The third one, I'll just go with per user, this one overrides, actually. Yeah, override. So this is fine. Let me go with set of, set, actually. Let me initialize this one with the set. See, first one, name, to store the flags name. Enabled equals false that we have set. for the global honor of flag accordingly with the criteria within the question that they have mentioned. For user overrides, we have set this one, or we have initialized this one to the set because we need explicit user level overrides here, right? The final one will be going with the rollout percentage, and will be initializing this one with a 0 because we have to go with a percentage rollout for the gradual release. So I'll just go with here self dot, let me go with rollout percentage, right? Rollout percentage. Let me initialize this one with a 0. Next, let's do one thing. I'll just go with a is enabled method. So I'll just go with def is enabled. So this is fine. Let me go with user ID. Yeah, user ID as the parameter. So within the user ID, uh, first let me go with a simple if method. Sorry, if condition. If user has explicit access, then we have to return true in that case. Flag is globally enabled, then also we have to return true. These two methods we have, these two conditions we have to write. First, if user has explicit access. So if I'll just go with a user ID based on the user ID itself, we will be going, right? So I'll just go with user ID in per user overrides. Actually, this has to show per, yeah, per user overrides. Then in that case, we have to return Boolean value true. Yep, so this is fine. Next, let's go with a condition if flag is globally enabled. Then also we have to return true, right? So I'll just go with not enabled. This has to show. Yep. So here, within the if condition, let me return true actually. Yeah, this is fine. Next, let me do one thing. Let's go with a percentage rollout, meaning we have to go with a simple modulus to simulate fixed bucket assignment. Yeah, so I'll just go with a return here. So this is fine. User ID, this one, I'll just go with modulo 100. So this is also fine. Less than, let me go with the rollout percentage. This one, yeah, rollout percentage. This is fine. Next, let's do one thing, man. Let's go with a feature flag manager, right? Let's go with a feature flag manager. So within this, we have 6 methods actually. We have to write this one by one, which is easier. We don't have to worry. And for this, we are going with a singleton design pattern. We'll be following singleton design pattern, right? As discussed earlier, if you know what I meant. Design pattern choice actually. So I'll just go with featured or feature flag manager actually. Yeah, not featured. It's feature flag manager. So within this class, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so within this class, let me go with instance. Sorry, let me go with instance. Let me initialize this one with a none. Yeah, the next one, let me go with a lock. Yeah, let me initialize this one with a threading dot log. So this is fine as well. Yep. So next, let me go with a new method, right? So this one is used to override the new to build singleton actually. So this one, I'll just copy paste this one. Yeah, just give me a second here. So I'll just go with here. This one, yeah. Yeah. So let me explain this one, whatever I have pasted now here. So see, I'll so this one new class, we are just overriding new to build the singleton. We know this. With class.log, so whatever I have written here. So this is the log to ensure atomic instance creation. Yeah. Then we are going with build exactly once here. See, when class.instance is none. So then first one, this is fine. Super. So this one flags, we have set this one to the dictionary to store the feature flags. And we are going with the log for flag operations, the line number 33. This is it actually. Finally, it always return the same instance, right? So I'm just going with a return class dot instance. Yep. So this is fine. Yeah. This is just to ensure the singleton actually, right? So this is fine. Next, let's move on with the main methods actually. 6 methods that we have discussed that we had discussed within the UML diagram. Let's start with the first method, create flag. I'll just go with def here, create flag. Yep, so this is fine. Along with the self, we need the parameter name. Yep. So within the create flag method, so first let's go with the atomic right. I'll just go with this one lock. This is fine. Yep. Uh, we have considered flags lock, I think. So I'll just do one thing. Let me go with flag. Sorry, let me remove this underscore and let me give the underscore here. 1 second. Anyways, Yep, flags log. So this is fine. This is just for the atomic right actually. Let's create the new feature flag object. So how we can create? I'll just go with the flags of name here. This one name, flags of name. Let me assign this one with a feature flag of name actually. Yep. So this is fine. So the next thing here would be let's go with a method update flag state. So I'll just go with def update flag state actually update flag state. So along with the self, I need two more parameters. One is name and another one is state actually. Yep. So this is fine. Again, let me go with the lock. Mm, this has to show update flag state. No, but we have to go with the flags lock actually. Let's do one thing. I'll just copy this one entirely. I'll just paste this one over here. So within the lock actually, after acquiring the lock, we have to set the global on or off within the update flag state. So I'll just go with again flags.name. So let me give you a flags.name. Let me assign this one to flags name. We have to enable this one. I'll just make use of dot enabled here. Yep. Let me set this one to the state. Yep, so this is fine. This is it for the update flag state method. We are done with the two methods. Let's move on with the third method, enable for user. If you look at the UML diagram, right? So I'll just go with enable for user, right? So this is fine. So along with the self, I need two parameters. One is name and another one is user ID. Yep. So within the enable for user method, so we will be going with this one. What do we call? With uh, this one, flags log. So again, let me copy this one. Let me paste it over here. And within the lock, we have to give the explicit access because we are enabling for the user itself. The method itself indicates, the method name itself indicates that we are giving the access, right? So now we have to give the explicit access. So I'll just go with self.flags here, simple of name, simple dot, I'll just go with a per user overrides, right? Per user over, right? So this is fine. Dot add. I'll just go with the user ID. Yep. So this is fine. Next, let's do one thing. Let's go with the fourth method, nothing but disable for user, right? I'll just go with disable uh, for user, right? So disable for user. So along with the self, I'll be going with the two parameters, namely name as well as the user ID. Yep. So these are the things that is required. These are the parameters that are required by the disable for user method, right? So first, again, the same thing. Let me copy the same thing over here. Yep. So I'll just paste this one over here, and within the log, after acquiring the log, so we have to access the flag object. So let me make use of the variable f flags. Sorry, flags of this one name actually we need to pass the name. So after this, let me write the simple if condition because we have to remove the override if it exists, meaning we have to disable the access for the user. In simple terms, we have to remove override if it exists. That's what we have to do. That's the only thing we have to do within this method. So I'll just go with if user ID, and based on the user ID itself we will be doing, right? So I'll just go with per user override here. So per user override, somewhere we have made use of this one actually. Yeah, I'll just paste this one over here. Per user overrides. So within this if condition, I'll just go with again per user overrides. We have to remove, right? I'll just make use of the remove. Not showing. Let me type this one. Remove of this one has to show user ID based on the user ID itself. Will remove. Yep. So this is it for the disable for user. Very simple one. We are done with the four methods. We are left with only two methods, namely set rollout and is enabled. If you look at the UML diagram. Yep. So I'll just go with set rolled. So this is fine. Set rollout actually. Sorry, not rolled rollout. So I'll just go with this one name as well as the visit. Yep. So this is fine. Within this method first, again, the same thing. Let me copy this one. We have to acquire the lock. Let me paste this one over here. And within this, first we have to update the rollout percentage, right? I'll just go with this one. What do we call? flags of name. So this is fine. Dot. Let me go with the rollout percentage. Where is the rollout percentage, man? Somewhere I have used. I'll just copy this one and let me come here. I'll just paste this one over here. Rollout percentage. Let me assign this one to the parameter that we have considered. So we are updating the rollout percentage here. We have successfully updated the rollout percentage. Then after doing this, let's consider the last method that's present in the UML diagram. Nothing but is enabled. Yeah, is enabled. We have to go with only two parameters. One is name, the other one is user ID. Yep, name and the user ID. So within this method, is enabled method, we have to return or we have to delegate check to feature flag, right? In simple terms. So let me return. So this one will be flags, self flags of name. Actually, this is fine. And I'll just go with is enabled. Let me go with is enabled of let me pass the user ID actually this one. Yep. So this is fine. These are some of the methods we have successfully added the logics to the this one. Different methods in the UML diagram, and we have this one. What do we call? We have written the code structurally as well. So this is it for the coding, man. Very simple one, right? So now usually I take the example usage or the demo usage from the Google. Let me do that. Just give me a second here. So let me come here. Let me paste this one over here, right? So this is showing error here. Quick fix. Change parent to the. Let me not change it here. Let me click this one. Let me change here itself. Let me change this one to the capital M. So now this has the error should be gone. Yeah, this is fine. So now we have written this one. We are going with the demo usage, right? So let me copy the entire file name. I'll just give Control J. Let me run the code actually. What happened to this one? Why is this stuck actually? Close this one and give the Control J again here. What is happening, man? Why? Nothing is working in the terminal. Sometimes this it's completely laggy. Anyways, yeah. Let's wait for some time. Just give me a second. Let's wait for some time. So just give me a second. I had to restart the VS Code actually. It was not working. Let me give Control J now. Also, I'm getting the same thing, man. Yeah, now this works actually. Let me give clear screen. I'll just give Python followed by the file name dot py. Yep. So I hope this works. Let's see. Yeah, see here, feature checks, user 10, user 25, user 56. Let's discuss the same thing one by one accordingly with the this one. What do we call demo usage of the example usage that we have went with. See, first we are calling the main class feature flag manager, which is the base class and which follows the singleton design pattern. Yep. This is fine, I believe. Yep. So we are getting the singleton manager instance first. Next, what we are doing, we are going with a manager.create flag. This create flag, we have called the create flag method here. So what it does, we are creating the feature flag named new UI, right? So, and we are enabling it globally by calling the update flag state new UI true, right? So we are enabling it globally. Yep. So we have successfully created a flag named new UI right now, right? So this is fine. And we have enabled it this one successfully globally, right? Globally successfully, anything. Not anything, globally successfully, right? Uh, we have enabled it globally, man. Sorry. Next, let's go with a create flag. We have went with a create flag of beta feature here, right? So what we are doing, we are creating another feature flag here named beta feature, right? So we are enabling only 30% of the rollout. See here, we have passed 30, right? So set rollout, we have set this one to the 30%, meaning we are just enabling 30% rollout here, right? And see here, one more thing, enable for the user beta feature 101. So we are giving user 101 explicit access here. We are giving we are giving user 101 explicit access here. Test users. So based on this one, test users, we are going with the sample users to test here. Uh, So user 10, user 20, user 50, and user 101, and we have this one. What do we call? We have given user one, user 101 explicit access for the beta feature only for the user 101. Yep. So these are the sample users 10, 25, 50, and 101 sample users based on ID actually. Yep. So this is fine. Next, the finally what we are doing, we are just heading for the output here. By print statement is just for the interactiveness one. For loop, we are just looping through the text users. New UI state, this one. We are just checking this one. What new UI? This one. We are just checking the new UI state here. And the final one, beta feature, whatever we have set this one. We have made use of the is enabled method here, right? Or called the is enabled method here. So we are just checking the beta state. Then finally, yep. So if I run this, what is the output that I need to get basically? Yeah, right. The output first one is feature checks. Feature checks for the user 10. We have given the new UI this one feature. We have given access to everyone globally. New UI, right? So new UI, true. Beta feature. Uh, So here, for the beta features, we are just giving the access to only the user, this one with the user ID 30 as well as the 101. So mm, beta feature 30, we are setting this one for the user only 101, right? So here in this case, we have to get the output false. Let's see. Let me check what we have done wrong actually. Oh yeah, what is happening here? So sorry. So I got confused here. We are giving only this one 30 access to the beta features for the 30% of the this one, right? So within the 30%, this user ID 10 and user ID 25 comes within that 30% itself, right? So we have given 100% access to the this one enable for the user this one 101. Also, we are enabling the beta feature for the 30% of the users, right? So that is the reason we have rolled out this feature only for the 30%, and that 30% comes within this user with the ID 10 and user with the ID 25 comes with that 30% itself, right? We have not enabled 100% globally. We have set this one 30% for the explicit users uh, within the ID 30 actually in simple terms. Yeah. So for this beta feature with the user ID 10, the beta feature has to be true. And this one for the beta feature, this is also true. Sorry, I got confused here. For the 50, no, we have set this one only to the 30. If we set this one to the 50, this will also be true, in my opinion. Yeah, everything will be true in that case. So see, let me run this one again. Yeah. So yeah, here we are getting false. Oh, I have to give 51 above 50, right? So this one has to be 51, starting from the 51. Actually, let me give 60. Then 50 also includes here. Everything we get true here, right? Based on the code that we have written. Yeah, see here, we are getting true for everything. So let me change this one to 30, or let me change this one to 20, so that we get only true for the 10 actually. For the 25, we get false. For the 50, we get false. And these first one and the last one remains true, because 101, we have granted the access completely for the beta feature, right? So let me give clear screen here. So let me run this one. Yeah, so we are getting true for the first one, first user with the ID 10. For the second and third user, we are getting the output false. And for the third user, we are getting the output true, which is absolutely correct, right? So we are getting the absolute correct output. Sorry, I got a bit confused, right? So this is fine. Now, yep. So we are done with the coding part. We have successfully discussed the coding part. We have successfully discussed the output part as well. We have got the desired output as well, right? So now, it's better to move on with the further things. Let's discuss the limitations for the code that we have written. So the first limitation here would be no support for the complex targeting, right? So no support for the complex targeting, in the sense we are not going with a location, device, A/B test groups, etc. Right? So this is one of the limitations. Yeah. So this is fine. Next, the second limitation here would be no persistence. No persistence in the sense we are not giving. I mean, yeah. Uh, we are not going with any external database here. So no persistence here in this case, right? So we are just considering in memory only. Yep. So this is one of the limitations. The third one here would be no multivariate or JSON based configuration per flag, right? So this is one of the thing as well. Yep. Oh, this has become very slow, I believe. Yep. Anyways, no multivariate of the JSON based config per flag, right? So this is one of the limitations as well. And we are not going with any analytics for the exposure tracking. So no analytics for exposure tracking. So this is one of the limitations as well, right? So the final one here would be rollouts use static modulus technique. Rollouts use static modulus technique, right? So these are some of the limitations. Yeah, these are some of the limitations of the code that we have for the code that we have written. Yep. So next, let's do one thing. We are left with only one thing. Let's move on with the alternative algorithms and the trade-offs. Right. So let's move on with the final topic: alternative algorithms and the trade-offs. So let's move on with the final topic here. Again, alternative algorithms and the trade-offs, right? So the first one here is the first alternative algorithm or the approach would be consistent hashing rollout. We can just go with a consistent hashing rollout. So the main advantage here would be this one, stable distribution, right? But it comes with a trade-off, namely slightly more complex. It will be uh, more complex. Yep, complex to implement actually for the implementation. So next, let's move on with the randomized bucketing. We can just move on with the, or we can just consider randomized bucketing as well. So the main advantage of using the implementing the randomized bucketing is it is more realistic sampling. But the main trade-off would be here. It requires this one seed or state management. Yeah, this one also we have to keep in mind. The third one, uh, we can just implement the rules engine, nothing but DSL based, right? So the main advantage of making use of the rules engine would be it would be very flexible, yeah. And the main con would be this one, much heavier design, right? So this is one of the cons. The fourth one would be here, persisted DB based flags. When I say persisted DB based flags, the main advantage of using or implementing the persisted DB, meaning implementing the DB basically, right? DB based flags, actually database based flags. So main thing, the main advantage would be data durability. We know this one. The main con or the trade-off that it would come with is external dependency. Obviously, we have to go with external dependency, right? This is one of the con actually. This is one of the things that we can implement as well. We have to keep in mind. And the fifth one or the final one would be event-based distributed update. The main advantage or the pros of this is it scales well with the microservices, or it scales well in microservices, no doubt. And the main con or the disadvantage is that it needs messaging infra. It needs messaging infra or the infrastructure, right? So these are some of the alternative algorithms. Yep, these are some of the alternative algorithms and the trade-off that we had uh, that we discussed just now. Yep. So this is fine. We have successfully designed dynamic feature flag manager, right? So we have successfully designed dynamic feature flag manager. Uh, I hope whatever we have discussed is completely clear, along with the this one UML diagram as well as the coding part, right? So for now, this is it. And one more thing, next we will be designing, tomorrow we'll be finishing, we'll finish this one actually completely. We will be solving 50 problems as we had discussed earlier, that I said we'll be solving 50 problems. We are left with only two problems. Yeah, we have solved 48 problems successfully. So tomorrow we'll finish this one with a this one. What do we call? Finish this playlist with two problems, namely configuration, designing the configuration manager, and the final one would be designing the tic-tac-toe game. These two things we will be designing tomorrow, right? So we'll finish it off tomorrow with these two LLD problems. One is designing a configuration manager, and the another one would be designing tic-tac-toe game. Yep. So these are some of the two. This one, what do we call? Yeah, these we'll finish it off tomorrow with these two LLD problems actually. Yeah. Yep. Mm, Then let's do one thing. After finishing this playlist, actually, I'll just take the break from the YouTube, at least for the month. Actually, just at least for a month or two, actually. I'll just take the break for 1 or 2 months. Then we can continue with other things, right? So I'll not be doing anything for the YouTube, only for 1 month or the 2 months. Then we can just continue with the further things. Yeah. I'm just preparing for the certain things. So after that, we can just continue with the YouTube, right? So at least for the month or maybe even 2 months, right? Max. So after that, again, we can just come this one continue with the other things actually. Now, we are done with this, or we have successfully designed this one dynamic feature flag manager. Yeah. So again, I hope whatever we have discussed is completely clear along with the UML diagram and the coding part. So for now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.